Welcome to Oracle Application Express Apex Regions Charts, Part 2. In the previous lesson, we went through the steps of creating a chart that displayed information on the screen in a graphical format. One of the things about the chart that we created was that it didn't have particularly meaningful data. Along the bottom of the screen, we have the sales rep IDs, but for most people looking at this chart, that doesn't really mean anything to them. We have the ability to go in there and change the query that drives the chart as long as we keep it in the same format of what we were looking at earlier. If we edit the page, you can see that we have one region on this page that's a chart. The series is the SQL query that drives the chart. If I double click on that, I can edit the SQL query that drives this particular chart. I can make changes by joining together the orders table with our HR employees table, which is where the sales rep ID is coming from. If I change the query to make sure it has the same format, which is basically first column aliased by the word link, second column is going to be aliased by the word label, the third column is going to be aliased by the word value or value1, I can change this query to say, instead of pulling back the sales rep number, which again doesn't really mean anything to somebody who's going to be looking at this page, I instead want to pull up the employee last name that matches the sales rep ID. I can do this by joining the two tables together, OE orders and HR employees. The common fields between those two tables are the sales rep ID inside of orders and the employee ID inside of employees. I join those two tables together, and instead of pulling back the sales rep ID to display on the chart, I'm going to display the last name of the employee on the chart. If I've set up my query correctly, when I click on Apply Changes, I'll be taken to the next page that allows me to apply changes to the entire region. If I had made any mistakes in my SQL statement, Oracle would not have allowed me to progress onto this page. When I click on Apply Changes, I'm taken back to the page that I can run again, and this time, instead of pulling back the sales rep ID number, which again is of limited use to us, I can make my query meaningful so that I actually pull back meaningful information. Another really cool thing about Oracle Application Express to remember is that it's really hard to break something inside of Oracle Application Express. In this sense, it's a wonderful environment for going in and trying new things. If you make a mistake or the results don't match what you're expecting, I can go back, change things later on, and change it back to the way you had it. So if I want to change the basic format of what I see on this particular report, I can go back to edit page 11, edit the series, I can change any of these pieces around. I can change the chart attributes around to say, I don't want it to look like this. Instead of having look 6, which is a predefined template for charts, I want to have it like look 1. I don't know even what look 1 looks like. I'll apply the changes, run the page again. Now it has a little different look and feel to it. Pretty similar to what we saw before, but a little different. Keep going back and edit this particular region over and over again. I don't want look 1, I want look 3. Apply the changes, run the page again. Look at that, looks a little different. Keep doing this over and over again until I get the look I want. Everything is based on wizards. It's all stored right in the database. If I make a mistake at any time, it's real easy for me to go back and just say, you know what? Look 6 is what I wanted all along. So I'm going to go back to look 6. Maybe I want the background color to be a little different. I have to change background type to solid color. I can set titles for each one of these. So my x-axis, I'll call sales rep. My y-axis, I'll call number of orders. I can predefine minimum and maximum values for my y-axis. How many decimal places I want to specify. Tremendous amount of formatting capabilities that are available to you. And since they're all based in the wizards, it's real easy for you to go in there, make changes. And again, if the change isn't what you like, you can always go back. I made my background black, which unfortunately overwrites my text, which is also black. So if I go back to edit the page again, I change my chart attributes. I don't want the background color. I'll make it transparent. As you can see, I now have sales rep along the bottom of the screen, number of orders. It's relatively easy to get the page looking the way you want it exactly for your production environment.